Going on, guys? What's going on, brother? Trying to get this up and running. Work the kinks out. I got a delay on this end. I guess I go to StreamYard. It's good to go, but if I try to watch it on YouTube, then there's a delay. Roger that. Playing around with it, trying to get everything up and ready when we start running the Q&A portions of the weekly. Yeah, I noticed that. That's what I'm working through as we speak. Trying to see if this will be recorded at a later time or will it just show broadcast live. Got you. Well, at least I got this far with it. Hey, Dennis, how you doing, sir? Trying to get all the kinks worked out so we can start doing some Q&As weekly. Yeah, I went through StreamYard, so that's where I'm at now, is watching it. So you liked your staccato P, I see. Some damn good groups that you emailed me. Let's see. I've actually got my second one, and I'll probably get about 3,000. I had to send my prototype back to the engineers. I had close to 28,500 rounds to it, so they wanted to tear it apart and look at it, if there's any issues with it. 'Yeah, I believe you like the occluded optic. It helps me, and I still do it to this day, especially coming from irons to where you want to shoot with both eyes open. It's a game changer. It helps a lot of my students. If they're having issues during a class, I'll just tape over their dot, and it's takes care of itself. 'Cause hopefully, we'll start rolling out these Q&As. There's several guys in North Carolina area, or I travel a lot as well. So it's one of those. If you want to hit me up offline, we can look at doing a class or having you host a class, and I'll come to you guys if that helps. Wolf and Hound. No, I live in Texas, guys. I'm from Virginia originally, and I've been in Texas about 8 years now. When I was in the Army, I was a ground pounder, mechanized infantry. So it's one of those. I got out of the Army in '99. Went directly to work for the government. Um, I was working for the agency where we done a lot of training for other agencies and hostage rescue. Got recruited 03, 04 for another government agency and went downrange for the next probably 12 years. Big J, Texas it is. Did a little bit of everything, I'll put it that way. Yes, sir, it's my pleasure. That's how Cadre came about. In all honesty, it was once I created this company as a consulting company, training company in 2013 while I was still overseas. Uh, my sister taking a firearms class, she got her concealed carry, and she was telling me about the horrors of what they were teaching. So I decided when I was in, I'd be gone normally 3 months at a time. And then I'd be home for about 30 days and then I'd redeploy. So I was gone 9 to 10 months a year for probably about 10 years. So in the month I was home, I'd actually started doing training for civilians and more so a lot of law enforcement. Yes, sir, I did. I read it earlier, and that's a great idea. I'm in the process now. Like I said, everybody's on here. It's one of those. I've got several instructors that I've worked with downrange, that I've worked here in the States. They're probably the top of the game. And besides being outstanding instructors, they actually have done it. So they got real world experience. And what we're trying to do is I'm trying to have a new instructor weekly. And what that will do is, of course, we know on YouTube we can't handle firearms. So during a live event, so we'll record it. I'll post it. You guys have questions, of course, I'll get the same instructor back with me after it goes live, and then we'll do a Q&A to help you guys out. I haven't seen anything else like that on YouTube, so trying to help these guys out, especially pro 2A and concerned citizens. Pistol Pete. But as of right now, we should be posting around 1700 Central on Friday, the first training evolution, and we're going to be discussing grip, the grip of the pistols on 2011s and on Glocks, because I get a lot of questions on how to properly grip a pistol. He doesn't know Scottos then, does he? They like to be wet. Of course, you found it. I'm just trying to be like you, brother. My favorite EDC. Um, again, I've discussed it several times. For all around, I love my C2. But again, I'm lucky enough to have several staccatos. So I love the CS strictly for EDC. It's just a lot easier to carry. And I'm not giving up much accuracy. I got some videos somewhere. I'm running sub 2-second bill drills with all A zone hits with that little CS, which is like crazy. I was doing a class, I believe about a month ago in Alabama, and I was actually ringing steel at 200 yards with CS, which was again crazy for a 3.5 inch barrel. I haven't got a chance to shoot those yet. I'm interested in finding one. Best do it all is a C2 Harks gun, in my opinion. Again, and I've the only one I don't have and I never cared for was the XL. And I got the XC just because I was testing my comps. So I needed to run their XC against my comp to see how I was doing when I was doing prototype phase. PCC, I love my SIG. The MPX PCC, that's just stupid accurate. I mean, it comes with I believe it's the Timney trigger from the factory. Pistol or rifle, sir? For rifles, honestly, I like the 16 inch. Unless you're going to go with a 14 and a half and go ahead and push it out to 16 inches. Um, we was running the 14 and a half overseas. They swapped us out to the 10 and a halves, and I do not like a 10 and a half whatsoever. So again, I've seen some of the 13.9s. They're doing well. Of course, you'll pin a flash suppressor on it, but no, I still like the 16 inch. And I'm currently running 14 and a half, if that helps. Uh, I've had a pump. I've grew up pump shotguns all my life. I like semi-automatics if it's a solid one. I know Benelli's coming. They've got theirs. Mossberg's got theirs. Um, I know Beretta's got that new 1301. I'm hearing good things about it. The issue with semis, you've got to watch about the rounds you're running. If you're going to run a low brass or high brass, and some of them won't function with the low brass, especially for home defense. If you're one of your family members going to be running it. Memorial Day sales, yes, sir. I've actually been. I run factory a lot of times because I shoot a lot. I, I'm a big proponent of Freedom Ammunition. I run their reman, and I have no issues with it. Um, my staccatos like heavier grain, so normally I run 135 or 147. I run 115 sometimes, but even out of the comp, I'm still getting good. They're still shooting flats with 135s, and they normally have good sales on me, 500 at a time, 120 bucks. if that helps. Like I said, and they got great shipping. I've been running those guys for a while. There's a brand of ammo I'd stay away from, and I'll find out. I've got a box somewhere. They're cheap. They're made here in Texas, unfortunately, but um, I've actually had the loose bullet inside brass powder and everything else inside the box. It just falls out. And I've actually had it shoot one, put one in, and it locked up on me. So yeah, I'm very particular on what I run through. I appreciate that, sir. I'm trying. I'm trying. Big J got me back into it. He's been on to me for probably about a year now to get something up, but I've yet to. I just started, but like I said, about 3 weeks ago. Compensated CS. I don't know if they will. Again, that's above my pay grade, but I know the CS is EDC strictly. And what I'm afraid of, if you start putting a comp on it, now you're back to a C2 size. So I don't know if they will um, compensate a CS, but anything's possible, especially if a lot of guys are requesting it. Yeah, squid bloat sucks. Yeah, that one manufacturer, my C2 would not even shoot them. Hey, if you guys, like I said, this training's coming up. Yeah, it's Bulls got theirs. I don't know what Scott going to do with it. I actually haven't spoke to him about it. With this training thing that we got pushing, guys. Yeah, go ahead and just send comments. Yes, sir. I train regular guys. I'm normally off. Normally training every weekend somewhere. Oh, you'll know it. You'll know it. And please do not shoot another round right behind it. Yeah, I'll get everyone on. I know I've spoke to several guys. I know um, John Keys from Guns Out TV. He's a good friend of mine. We were talking earlier, and he's going to jump on. I'm gonna get his. I want to get his output or his thought process because he's getting into shooting, and they've been traveling a lot over the past year and a half, different classes. So I wanted him to be able to give his insight for the viewers out there. I live in Texas, sir. Yes, sir. We got a lot of content that's in the process. Yes, I believe that's exactly the ammo. Yeah, guys, got any requests if you're having issues with training. I know the first one we're looking at is grip, and then we're going to break it down to shooting, red dots. I've got a retired. I'm not going to steal his thunder, but he's the one that taught out west. Um, Teaches thousands of officers a year on red dots. So he's going to come on, and we're going to have a good discussion on training side on red dot for you guys. It's going to help as well. Yeah, brother, just give me a shout. We'll hit the range. There are several instructors, depending on what you're looking at, is what I would recommend. Um, a lot of them I know personally as well. I mean, Charlie and Zach with Hades Consulting, solid dudes. You got Mike Nooner for CTT Solutions, another solid dude. You got Mike out in North Carolina, and Matt's out there. X-Ray Alpha, good dude. Um, Again, these are guys that I do train when I do my personal training. I go to these guys. Yes, as far as incorporated running and shooting, it's a must. But the issue is, and I understand that a lot of people have to shoot indoor ranges; they won't allow it to do it. Um, but I'm a big proponent in not remaining static. You have to have movement, and if you take one of my classes, you'll see why. Um, and a lot of my classes, I'll start depending on what the experience level is. Um, Normally, after a safety brief, we get on the line and we'll shoot a course of fire, like a qual test, so I can actually judge, see where you're at, so we can critique the training that meets your needs. Yeah, Big J, we'll get something set up. We'll get to the range one day. No, not yet, sir. I'm actually getting ready to break into it. IDPA and USPSA. I've always wanted to, but with as much as I was deployed, it was hard. And then when I came back, started doing training full time, I'm normally gone somewhere on the weekends, 3 or 4 days at a time, doing classes. Yes, sir. I do classes in Florida every once in a while as well. Normally, like I said, if you've got a place and you've got a group, reach out to me. If you want to host one, I'll come down to you. Have gun, we'll travel. I know I've got one coming up in Kentucky, got a couple coming up in Tennessee, Virginia. Um, yeah, I've got several coming up, but we can work you in. Now I've shot them. I've actually owned some Wilson combats, and I like them. I've had the Wilsons, I've had the Nighthawks. Um, what I found out now, again, they are very finicky. The ones I have, so they're real tight barrels. Now, range gun, yes, and if you loosen it up, it's great for concealed carry, but for the price of it, and that's when I swapped over to staccato. I was issued the Springfield Professional 45 back in the early 2000s. and that is the 1911 that I always compare when I've got another one, a 2011, 1911. It's the Springfield Professional is what I compare it to. Yes, sir. Mr. Smith, yeah, just email me. We'll talk offline and we'll get you set up. I'll get you prices, how many people's needed, and we can go from there. Yes, sir. Springfield Professional. It was tight. Love that pistol. Probably only semi-custom. Now it was a fully custom. Is I've got a buddy, Chris James. He owns Combat Precision Technologies. Um, Solid dude. He is the only one that I ever let touch my 1911s. And if you guys not following him or uh, check him out, if you're on Instagram, hit him up. CPT. But he's a good dude. He does. He's got a 2 year wait list, but they're well worth it. Yes, sir. Let me know. We'll get something worked out. Well, gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Again, I'm trying to work out the kinks before we hit the solid Q and A's. If you guys need anything, give me a shout. Leave comments on this. I'll post this up so I can still play around with it. But everyone should have my email, or if not, email me and you get my phone number. You can call me directly. I appreciate that, sir. Yeah, I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm a knuckle dragger. Uh, Big J's helped me navigate this social media, so I'm trying to learn how to do it. Yes, sir. You have a good night as well. Thank you, guys.